We are here today to check out some more cricket.
But should we just call it like Cricket Tuesday or something like that?
Cricket Tuesday.
Cricket Tuesday.
Cricket Tuesday.
It was repeating itself. Can we just see that?
It's so true, though.
Okay, well, first of all,
true.
Mitch Johnson, Brett Lee, MS Dhoni, with all that boring stuff out of the way, this is a very important, momentous occasion.
Hello, Boring Review Nation. Gabe.
And the one you came for, Nick. What's up, guys?
Rocking that Padres gear, huh?
Woo, I almost put on the hat. I almost did it. And look at this game. Just like Superman, I got it underneath.
Oh my gosh. Feels good. Feels good. I gotta say, Nick's not a bandwagon fan. He was one of the only dudes I knew that was still rocking Padres gear when they were trash the last 8 years.
Dude,
but
now I can like show myself wearing this. Before it's like a bag over the head or it's like it's a scald or something. Run in and out of the store. Don't want to show anyone.
That's hilarious. But you know, in any event, we're here to talk about another great, a cricket great. And Nick, tell everybody what we're going to be reacting to today.
So before we get there, today's another week, another episode of Cricket Tuesday.
Yeah, I forgot that. See what happens when I do the hosting. You know, it's off the rails. It's off the rails. I'm actually shocked it's been as short as it has. I don't have an interesting anecdote for you. I mean, I could probably come up with one, but man, I'm looking at the timer like, wow, really? That quick? You know, people are like, really, Gabe? Usually, have you seen on the videos when they're like, and the
564, 832.
if 832, I must have really been ranting about something. So Johnny Bairstow pissed me off. Something happened if it's 832, bro.
Oh, how dare. And you know what's crazy? I mean, anyway, I don't want to get too off the rails. I was going to say something about Cricket for Americans, but this is not the right channel. So we're actually going to jump right into this. We're looking at part 2 of Virat Kohli's Breakfast with Champions conversation. We watched part 1. If you have not seen our reaction to that, it's on the channel just a few weeks ago. Go ahead and check that out and then come back here and watch our reaction for part 2. But we're going to see what the conversation's about. We had some good stuff. We learned about his diet a little more. We already knew that. We learned about some of the players in the team, music they listen to. So I'm excited to learn more about Kohli the man. Thank you so much for the request. I never know if it's like one guy with 15 different like accounts or if it's different people, but we appreciate the love. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to jump right into this in 3, 2, 1.
Which school did you go to?
I went to a school called Xavier Convent. My coach took me to that school क्योंकि हमारी academy वहाँ खुल रही थी और school वालों से ये deal थी कि हम school की team बनाएंगे तो लड़कों की admission करवा देंगे और school की एक strong team बनाएंगे उस time
बचपन से deal
यार मैंने नहीं deal करी उस time school cricket बहुत strong थी ना दिल्ली में तो
वो तो थी
उसका बहुत अच्छे tournaments होते थे तो उस चक्कर में मेरे को school change करना पड़ा
कैंटीन में क्या मिलता था
कैंटीन में वेज पैटी 5 रुपए वाली और समोसे छोले कुलचे लेमन सोडा बर्गर
Yes. Burgers. It mentions wardrobe malfunction in the title. Uh-oh.
You know you were being fast tracked, right? There was this talk in the middle कि जैसे managers को fast track करते हैं वैसे विराट को fast track कर रहे हैं. Did you hear this talk around you? Did you ever feel that?
During my initial days?
Yeah, during your initial days, about a year in.
Yeah. Under 19 World Cup के बाद ही शुरू हो गया था. अभी you know people are looking at you, people have seen you play. शायद तो Indian team में select हो जाए. तो I started thinking from that point of view. First IPL में I had too much pressure on me because I was thinking about the expectations कि यार मुझे अच्छा IPL करना ही है because I might have a chance to play for India.
Yeah.
IPL was a disaster for me first year. The team did not do well, so I was nowhere in the picture. But then coincidence तो मैं अब believe नहीं करता कि कुछ होता है. Everything's meant to be. तो Australia में we were playing and Dilip Vengsarkar was the chairman of selectors that time and he had to come to watch a couple of games in Australia. So we were playing a game against New Zealand A और वो भी series मेरी अच्छी नहीं जा रही थी. I was dropped from the team. So that very game 3-4 people insisted कि यार इसको chance दे सकते हैं एक और I think. So Praveen Amre was the coach. So he asked me whether I'll open the innings.
Yeah.
I said, sir, I'll open.
We've heard this story before.
So Dilip Vengsarkar was due to arrive that day. And by the time he arrived, 15 minutes बाद हमारी batting शुरू हो गई.
Yeah.
He had just come from the airport सीधा. Batting शुरू हुई, I opened the innings and Corey Anderson, Chris Martin and Tim Southee भी था उस time. So I scored 120 not out. Shikhan and me opened and he saw me play. and he had seen me play पहले. So he made up his mind कि मैं इसको select करूँगा.
So when you
Jeez.
joined, obviously if you're talking about Sachin,
Timing.
Sachin, what was your reaction when you first went to a dressing room or first went to practice and met him?
पहला मेरा एक तो interaction बहुत funny था. First interaction मैंने prepare सिर्फ 2 दिन से यही किया कि मेरे को उनसे मिलना है. Indian change room में ना जाके मेरे को सचिन तेंदुलकर से मिलना है. अच्छा, अब इन लोगों को ना पता चल गया, मैंने किसी ना किसी से तो बात करी कि यार मेरे को बड़ी ना घबराहट हो रही है. इन्होंने प्लान बनाया, कहते हैं कि जो टीम में नया आता है वो पहले माथा टेकता है पाजी के पैरों में जाके. अच्छा, मैं सीरियसली मान गया इनकी बात. मैं गया हूँ, हेलो पाजी, हाय हाउ आर यू. मैंने कहा मैं नीचे जाने लगा, क्या कर रहा है. मैंने कहा इन लोगों ने बोला कि आके माथा टेकना होता है आपके पैरों में. तो
I would have fallen for that.
नहीं यार, तेरी टांग खींच रहा है. मेरा पहला इंटरेक्शन वो था.
और ये किसने बोला था? यूवी ने बोला था कि भज्जी ने बोला था?
यूवी पाजी, भज्जू पा, मुनाफ पटेल एंड इरफान पटेल. मुनाफ पटेल वाज द बिगेस्ट इंस्टिगेटर इसमें, कि मेरे को कन्विंस ही कर दिया, नहीं करेगा तो सब देख ले तेरा क्या होगा, हम तो गारंटी नहीं लेते, ये तो करना ही पड़ेगा. मतलब मैं ब्रेन
Can't guarantee what will happen later.
मैं without before approaching him, when I was making up my mind कि यार कैसे मैं जाऊँ, I remember I was sitting directly opposite to him in the change room, and he was right in front, and he was organizing and stuff, and I was just looking at him like this. मतलब मुझे टाइम रजिस्टर करने में लग रहा था कि ये सच है कि बीच में कोई टीवी स्क्रीन नहीं है. तो that was a very special moment.
What do you think about comparisons?
I don't believe in them. Comparison एक तो होता है कि चलो बंदों का कंपैरिजन हो सके. तुम मेरा कंपैरिजन ऐसे इंसान से करते हो जिसकी वजह से मैंने क्रिकेट खेलना शुरू किया. स्किल लेवल में कोई मुकाबला ही नहीं है. He's the most complete batsman ever. कहाँ से कंपैरिजन हो सकता है?
That's awesome.
I've always said it's not fair on him. Because of what he's given us, he doesn't deserve to be compared to us. Yeah. In this generation, no chance.
Is that the most, I guess 2011 would be, you know? Actually, let me just ask you, what is the most, even if I name you 3, if you can't name one, the most special moment of your playing career?
2011, 1. 2013 Champions Trophy, 2. And Test victory at Lords, number 3. Those 3 have to be the most special, I feel.
Going into the 2011 final, do you remember the previous evening?
I just remember तुम bread पे bread पहले जाओ. I just remember
Last time.
चोर. I just remember walking in and watching my idol come out after getting out. And walking into Wankhede, I felt like कि यार या तो ये लोग भूल गए हैं कि मैच इंडिया में है, या इन्हें लग रहा है मैं नंबर 11 का प्लेयर हूँ कि कोई उम्मीद ही नहीं है. कोई शोर ही नहीं बचा रहा है यार. थोड़ा तो कुछ तो ये कोई तो बोले ये
वाला बड़ा अच्छा, कोई तो इंडिया में हो रहा है भाई, कोई तो ताली.
मैंने देखा भी 1-2 बार ऊपर में, अगर प्लीज मतलब बिल्कुल शांति. ऑब्वियसली यार सचिन तेंदुलकर हैज गॉटन आउट. वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल, we all wanted him to get runs and win it for India. They all wanted him to get runs and win it for India. Cut to, we are 28 for 2. I'm walking in, Malinga is bowling, and he's picked up Sehwag and Sachin both.
Wow.
और मैं यही प्रे कर रहा था. मैंने कहा भगवान ये यॉर्कर ना हमारे बस.
Seriously.
ना हमारे बस एक बॉल में खेल लूँ, उसके बाद ठीक है. उसने लेंथ बॉल डाली, मैंने डिफेंस कर दी. उसके बाद मेरा थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो गया. उस टाइम तक तो मुझे कुछ होश नहीं था क्या हो रहा है.
Your famous statement in 2011. भाई वो स्टेटमेंट 2011 सुनने के बाद ना सबने कहा
वो भी पता नहीं कहाँ से आ गई यार. उस टाइम तो इतनी इंग्लिश आती भी नहीं थी.
और कहाँ से निकल के आई वो? He's carried us on his shoulders.
मुंह से निकलेगी और कहाँ से निकलेगी?
पक्का. क्योंकि एक बारी कोई एड शूट हो रहा था जहाँ पे कहीं और से भी कुछ निकल सकता था.
कौन सा एड शूट?
जो वॉरियर वाला.
ओह ब्लडी
यहाँ पे कपड़े फट गए थे.
I don't know that.
मत याद दिलाओ. Oh my god.
किसने फाड़े नहीं थे, वैसे होते हैं.
फाड़े नहीं थे. मुझे एक मैं was doing an ad. They made me look like a superhero. और सूट मुझे दिया बिल्कुल मतलब स्किन टाइट, जो हम वो नहीं पहनते स्किन्स जो बोलते हैं, बॉडी आर्मर पूरा. मैं बड़ा कूल फील कर रहा था. मेरे हाथ में उन्होंने बैट दिया हुआ है, कहते हैं आपने बॉल मारनी है, लेज़र लाइट्स लगी हुई हैं, आपने यहाँ से निकलना है वहाँ से निकलना है. चलो जी करेंगे. बड़ी अच्छी सेटिंग थी. थोड़ी देर में ना करते करते मैं एक्साइटेड हो गया. तो बड़ा इंटेंस शूट चल रहा था. उसके बाद थोड़ी देर बाद ना मुझे ठंड लगने लगी नीचे थोड़ी. मुझे हवा सी आई. मैंने कहा यार पता नहीं क्या है. मेरा कॉस्ट्यूम इतना नीचे से फटा हुआ था, ऊपर से मैं दिख रहा हूँ सुपर हीरो, नीचे से फकीरों वाले हाल मेरे. नीचे से पूरे मेरे कपड़े फटे हुए. वो मेरे को बहुत एम्बैरेसिंग और मेरा अंडरवेयर भी थोड़ा चमकीले से रंग का था.
So, at least you weren't going commando.
मैंने कहा यार सुई धागा तो लगा दो.
Commando.
उसके बाद बिकवा लिया जो बिकवाना है. फटे कपड़ों में बेच गया.
क्रिकेट के बाद तो ये सीखने को मिल गया है कि कुछ भी कभी भी पढ़ सकता है.
एब्सोल्युटली. क्रिकेट में तो कभी भी पढ़ सकता है.
डर तो लगता है. दूसरी तरफ अगर वीरेंद्र सहवाग बैटिंग कर रहा हो या हार्दिक पांड्या बैटिंग कर रहा हो कि भाई
मैं तो क्रिस गेल तक के साथ खेला हूँ.
सही बात
वो
है,
तो
क्रिस
सामने
गेल.
मारता था.
हाँ.
मुझे एक बार ना एक कुमार धर्मसेना एक अंपायर है. तो बैंगलोर में
Does he hate
मैच
umpires
चल
as
रहा था,
well?
क्रिस गेल भाई
Oh,
साहब
I'm praying.
Don't get too excited.
उन्होंने सामने वाली टांग साइड में रखी और बॉल आ गई रडार में. उन्होंने सामने मारी तो मेरे पास इतना ही टाइम था, मैंने ना यूं किया वो मैट्रिक्स वाला ही मूव हो पाया मेरे से. बॉल निकल गई साइड. तो मेरे को अंपायर क्या बोल रहा है, कह रहा है व्हाट आर यू डूइंग. मैंने कहा क्या हुआ, व्हाट हैपेंड. कहता है लिसन, व्हेन क्रिस हिट्स गो लाइक दिस, डोंट गो लाइक दिस. द बॉल हिट्स योर हेलमेट एंड इट कम्स टुवर्ड्स मी. मैंने कहा ओके नाउ आई अंडरस्टैंड. उसकी इतनी
That is awesome.
अंपायर तक डरते थे, ऐसे खड़े रहते तो.
That is so. The universe bounce.
that you have
That's
in
hilarious.
the career you saw and said बस ये तो नॉन स्ट्राइकिंग एड से अच्छा लगेगा.
He's never faced
See, I
Axe
never
hard. That's
faced
crazy.
Doctor.
Yeah.
But I've
Seriously?
seen him in a game in Dambulla against Pakistan. I got out. I couldn't face him, but I saw him bowl, and he looked, even at the later stages of his career, he looked very lethal. तो वो देख के मुझे लगा यार ये जब पीक पे बॉलिंग करते होंगे तो मतलब ऐसा ही लगता होगा कि दूसरे एंड पे ही रहो.
Yeah.
Also मोहम्मद इरफान, tall guy.
Yeah, वो तो फर्स्ट फ्लोर से आता है ना बोल.
मैंने एक्चुअली वर्ल्ड कप मैच से पहले, संजय बांगर इज आवर बैटिंग कोच. सो उन्होंने एक आई डोंट नो 1 फुट का कोई वो था स्टूल टाइप था. तो वहाँ पे खड़े होके वो वाज बॉलिंग इट टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दिस गाय. सो ही वाज एब्नॉर्मली कुछ अजीब था, इतना बाउंस होके बॉल यूज्ड टू गो फ्रॉम हियर.
Yeah.
मुझे अभी भी याद है 2020 मैच था बैंगलोर में. तो मी एंड यूपा और बैटिंग. तो आई ट्राइड टू पुल हिम. तो यूपा कहते हैं बाउंस हो रहा है, कट मार. तो जब मैंने पुल मारा तो बॉल इतनी ऊपर से गई, मुझे समझ नहीं लगी. मैंने कहा ये क्या हुआ. कह रहे वो लंबा है, कट मार विद द पेस. मैंने कट मारा, फिर इतनी ऊपर से गई. कह रहे रहने दे. कह रहे इस तरफ आ जा. मैंने कहा हाइट इतनी है मैं पहुंच नहीं पा रहा.
I understand that.
The last 10 years have you ever woken up not feeling 150% passionate? Because I believe
That's a
you
great
wake up
question.
feeling 150% passionate every day when you go to play.
woken
Everyone
up-
has off days.
I've woken up feeling a sense of detachment from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
कि यार मुझे नहीं करना. But that has been because of excessive pressure that's been on me during a difficult phase. But still, I've had the ability to still tell myself, नहीं, I'll go out and try once more. जिस दिन वो खत्म हो गई ना कि go out and try once more, फिर नहीं आप कर सकते हो. फिर no one can convince you.
Yeah.
No chance.
So what is the motivation?
Motivation
Advice.
is just about winning. जिस दिन passion खत्म हो गया, I'll stop playing. I'll never want to drag myself for more than my body can take. जिस दिन I feel like यार I'm standing on the field thinking यार why am I doing this? मतलब वो passion नहीं है ना जीतने का, वो energy नहीं है जीतने की, मैं नहीं खेल सकता हूँ, मैं खेल ही नहीं सकता हूँ. Then there'll just be a participation thing कि चलो आपको skill है, आपको खेलने का idea है तो आपने run बना दिए, performance कर दी. But if I can't contribute to the team, I won't play.
Now everybody keeps asking you questions about your great form. But you're a thinking person, you're a practical person. You've seen everybody else's long careers. एक ट्रफ तो आता ही है, सबका आता है कि एक भाई कभी ना कभी तो होगा कि नहीं मिलेगा बल्ले का बीच, जो भी कर लो. Is that something that you think about? Is it something that, or is it a passing thought?
यार मेरे साथ आ तो चुका एक बार इंग्लैंड में 2014 में.
Jeez, long time ago.
That I think was my worst phase in terms of inconsistency. बाकी अभी ना जैसे परफॉर्मेंस हो जाती है 4-5 साल तो लोग वेट करते हैं कि कभी ना कभी तो बुरा टाइम आएगा. मेरे लिए every match is like a responsibility. I go out there and I try to do my responsibility to the best of my abilities. मेरा ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि मुझे
It's an interesting way to look at it.
या मेरी
Absolutely.
ऐसी होनी चाहिए. अब लोग मेरे से ये एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं मुझे ऐसे खेलना. बॉल देखी, खेल दी. मैच जिताना है, रन बनाने हैं, फील्डिंग में पूरा एफर्ट करना है, चाहे रन बने ना बने, उतना ही मेरा माइंडसेट है और वही मैं कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूं.
I believe that about him, about the runs or not.
सर सीखने का अपॉर्चुनिटी है. जितना
Same guy.
इंग्लैंड वाले फेज से सीखा. I don't think I've learned in my cricket career more before or after that particular phase. So the biggest challenge for me initially was to get over this phase of people judging me for my image.
Yeah.
You know, कि tattoo है मेरे तब I used to wear those studs then and
That's
बालों में
going on
gel
in
था and all that.
in
I used to
baseball
like to,
too.
you know, dress
Style
up
है
and
भाई
हाँ
अपना
लोगों को प्रॉब्लम होती थी अरे इनमें तो ये आजकल के लौंडे तो बहुत वो है बहुत फ्लैम्बॉयंट है बहुत फ्लैशी है
शरीफा कहते हैं ना दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा रोग कि मेरे बारे में क्या कहेंगे लोग
क्या कहेंगे
Absolutely.
एब्सोल्युटली दैट्स सो ट्रू मैंने बेस्ट क्या किया है अभी कि मैं सोशल मीडिया वगैरह से मैं दूर ही हट चुका हूँ एंड it's the best thing that I've done. Actually, incidentally, last IPL only, me and Anushka had come to see me to Bangalore. और मैं Instagram पे था. So she told me कि, you know, why do you have to look at or see what people are saying about you?
Yeah.
You want to post things, you still can, but you don't have to physically see it yourself.
So
If
tough.
I want to post stuff, yes, I post stuff. I you know send all the content. I post stuff myself, but I don't want to read any comments.
Yeah.
और क्या मतलब it's peace of mind like no other because फिर होता क्या है ना कि आप अच्छा परफॉर्म करोगे तब प्रॉब्लम होती है आप कहते हो लोग क्या अच्छी बातें बोल रहे हैं मेरे बारे में और जब खराब करते हो वही आदमी हफ्ते बाद आपकी बुराई कर
Huge highs and huge lows.
आदमी ने मेरी बुराई कैसे कर दी फिर आप प्रेशर में आ जाते हो कि अब तो मुझे परफॉर्मेंस करनी है
उस आदमी के
हाँ उस आदमी के लिए वो एक शख्स तो अभी मैं कट कर दिया है यार एक तो ना इन चीज़ों में टाइम असाइन करना इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट सोशल मीडिया इट्स आई मीन व्हाटएवर गुड इट डज द कॉन्स आर इमेंस अभी तो मुझे ना सेंस हो जाता है मेरी अब इतनी बार लोग फोटो या वीडियो लेने की कोशिश करते हैं सेंसेस ना शार्पन हो जाती है मतलब मैं खाना ऐसे मुंह में जा रहा हूँ और वो वीडियो बना रहा है मैंने कहा तू क्या बनाना चाहता है कि पालक मेरे दांत में फंसे और फिर तू उसको जूम कर दिखाए मतलब क्या मोटिवेशन है
यार ऐसे तो शादियों में वीडियो होती है ना खाते हुए
वैसी फील आती है वो पंखे के आगे खा रहे होते हैं ना भल्ले दही भल्ले हाँ, तूफान फैन होता था उसके ऊपर एक वो ड्रॉप चलती रहती है पानी की जब ज़्यादा गर्मी होती है वहाँ पे सब डिस्कशन होती है पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हो रहा है क्रिकेट में क्या होना चाहिए सब पता होता है उनको वो तूफान फैन के आगे इस देश के सारे डिस्कशन हो चुके हैं इम्पोर्टेंट
सारे तूफान फैन के आगे से शुरू होते हैं
पूरे भल्ले नहीं छूटते उनके दही और चटनी गिर रहे होते हैं साइड में
बट अच्छा है कि दिल्ली का छोकरा है यहाँ पे बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट आई सी आफ्टर नोइंग यू फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स व्हेन आई सी यू नो गिविंग ऑल सीरियस यू नो एक्चुअली द बॉयज हल्की सी हंसी आ जाती है मेरे को थोड़ी सी और फिर मैं बहुत इंप्रेस होता हूँ मैंने कहा यार जेंटलमैन
सर लेडी लक का कमाल है हमें तो आपने देखा है हमें तो अकल थी नहीं कोई लाइफ में जब से लेडी हैज़ कम इनटू माय लाइफ शी इज़ टॉट मी अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स तो काफ़ी समझ आ गई है काफ़ी अकल आ गई पिछले 4 सालों में ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ हर
Smart man.
बिल्कुल सर ठहराव सिखाया और जिस पोजीशन में हो लाइफ में उसको किस तरीके से यूटिलाइज करना है सब वहीं से सीखा बट उस टाइम भी मैंने आई नेवर ट्राई टू बी एनीवन एल्स मतलब आई नेवर ट्राई टू टेल माई सेल्फ कि यार मुझे यू नो आई शुड बी रीडिंग बुक्स और आई शुड बी दोज आर ग्रेजुअल थिंग्स यार इफ यू लाइक इट यू लाइक इट सो लकीली मैं कभी अपने आप को चेंज करने की कोशिश करी नहीं बट द फ्लिप हैज़ बिन बिकॉज ऑफ हर इंग्लैंड में 2014 में अनुष्का वॉज देयर इन माई लाइफ शी अंडरस्टूड व्हाट आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू सो शी केप्ट मी मोटिवेटेड यू नो हर सपोर्ट हेल्प मी पुश थ्रू हाउएवर बैड इट वॉज फॉर मी but she was a constant in that time and then Australia happened and she was still there and I ended up scoring runs when she was you know in her presence.
That's cool.
So it was a special thing for both of us because she also faced so much flack. ऐसे हमको ऐसे criticize किया जा रहा था कि देखिए ऐसा ही होता है जब गर्लफ्रेंड्स को अलाउ कर दिया जाता है टूर पे तो मैंने बोला
women weaken the legs
नहीं लगता है तो कोई रिलेशनशिप में नहीं रह सकता है मतलब तुम्हारे हिसाब से या तो शादी करो या अकेले घूमो ऐसे कैसे होता है
एक बात बताओ बट in a country where everyone is so quiet about these things and what you always from the beginning which has been great you've been open about it saying बॉस कोई गलत काम थोड़ा ना कर रहा हूँ
यार इसका ना
प्यार किया तो करना क्या
एब्सोल्युटली इसका बहुत बड़ा रीज़न ना एक तो मिस्टर ज़हीर खान luckily he was one of the first guys I spoke to about this and he said जो तुझे करना है ना don't try to hide it because उससे क्या है कि तुझे खुद को एक तो बहुत स्ट्रेस हो जाएगा ऊपर से यार you're in a relationship you're not doing anything you know you're not committing a crime तो I'm actually very grateful कि my first interaction about this was with Zach.
Yeah.
And he told me the right thing to do, so I followed it ever since. I mean, we don't go out there and be madly vocal about it or, you know, have social media conversations, which मेरे को तो समझ नहीं आता यार कि मतलब आपस में बोलो ना बोलो, social media पे ज़रूर बोलना है. I miss you.
अरे दूसरे कंपनी में बैठी है.
कोई ना टाइप करना है.
दिखाना है.
वैसे लेवल पे नहीं है, but yeah, we don't hide it.
It's good that you spoke with Zach.
Why?
क्योंकि हमारे 2-4 और भाई लोग हैं, उनसे बात की होती तो अलग एडवाइस मिलती.
मैं बोल तो रहा हूँ, I'm grateful. I went to Zach.
सबसे ठहराव वाले आदमी से बात की गई, which is what I love about him. He's very sorted.
Zach
in his
is
thinking.
the best. Zach is the best. Any life problem anyone has, speak to Zach.
His number is.
Call Zach.
Thank you.
He's
Green
that
tea
good.
ला दीजिए please. हाँ, green tea उनको.
नींबू के साथ. Thank you. अच्छा मैं आपके लिए गिफ्ट लाया था.
Oh, present.
लो.
Thank you.
ये है हमारी
Evoke sound that inspires.
acoustics कंपनी के हेडफोन्स. ट्राई करके देखो.
ये आपकी अपनी कंपनी है?
हाँ मतलब
इकलौते वारिस.
जी.
Evoke group of companies के इकलौते वारिस.
जी नहीं.
कोहली ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज.
मैं विकी बेटे बोलने वाला नहीं हूँ.
गुड मॉर्निंग विकी बेटा.
गुड मॉर्निंग अंकल. नहीं अभी वो वाला हिसाब नहीं हुआ. बट दे लुक गुड है. क्वाइट नाइस.
व्हाट?
नॉइज कैंसिलेशन नहीं है. गलत प्रोडक्ट मत बेचो.
Goofball.
ओ सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात तुम करना भूल ही गए.
क्या?
प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल. मैं अपना पीछे हूँ ना.
ये दूसरा हो गया अभी. इवनिंग विद चैंपियंस.
ब्रेकफास्ट विद चैंपियंस को सब्सक्राइब करना. वैसे हम हमेशा ब्रेकफास्ट खाते, ये बहुत बिजी हो गया है अब. देखो कोहली एंटरप्राइजेस का इकलौता वारिस. आई वांट टू थैंक यू. आई नो बिटवीन प्लेइंग सो मच क्रिकेट एंड बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड द फुल रेडी टू टेक आउट टाइम टू डू.
गाड़ी में पड़ा है ठेला. क्या खरीदोगे आओ. आना हवेली पे आना. I like your t-shirt.
Little kid. A little cricket bat.
You're welcome. Your pen. Okay, that's a good way to sign off.
That's a good way to sign off.
Yes, sir.
I love how it says end of part 2. So, I mean, imagine being like, I was away for 6 years. Imagine being the server there, like you're being recorded. Maybe it's one of their guys, but they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to go serve to Kohli and this guy from Breakfast with Champions. Like, what? What? Like, it would just be so crazy. But I love the conversation. Kohli, he's, I'm sure he's well-spoken in his native language, but especially in English, like he's very well-spoken. He had mentioned that he wasn't so good at it, you know, early on in his career, but he, I don't know, I was really impressed with just the words he was using, the way he was speaking, but all those different anecdotes, like I wanted to know about, like, how do you do your job? How are you a superstar? And we know he's a social media influencer, all that kind of stuff. Like, how do you do that with all the expectations? Like you go, I'm thinking baseball terms, 0 for 4, everyone's going to crush you. You go 4 for 4 and you're a god or whatever. Right. And there's really telling there because he had mentioned, with roundabout way, he had said, yeah, I was looking at it. He didn't say it was his own words, but he said, I recently stopped. A few years ago, I stopped. So he was looking at it. And the best decision for him was just to completely ignore it. Don't do something for that one guy. And even though our platform is much smaller audience, right? You know, that's advice I can take right there. Don't worry about the troll. Don't worry about the 1 or 2. Bro. But I loved hearing that because I knew he had to look at it at some point in his career.
Bro, Jabby told you that. Remember when we did an interview with Jabby?
And I want to say I took that advice around that time.
It's one of those things where, bro, you have to be very thick-skinned to be on social media, okay? Because if not, people will tear you up. And case in point, Michael Rappaport, you know, he's an actor / comedian, and you know he goes after people on social media. Nick Fan, well, he went after Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant threatened his life. It was so bad, bro. Kevin Durant went off, and I mean, Kevin Durant is like one of the most thin-skinned people on social media. And he literally responds to people. He's insane. To Joe Blow, if I go on there and slide in and say something, he's going to come after me.
He's got to learn a lesson.
why? Why do you care? So he could use some of Kohli's advice, like, you know what? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to go ahead and post something, I can, but I'm not going to read the negativity. It is what it is because it's going to come. And I was more interested in his conversation, though, Nick, about how, and I guess it's the same thing in maybe just sports in general in the world. It's this, if you're not performing well, and the gullies are going to come. That's just how it is. Nobody, plays well all the time. There's got to be an excuse. And the excuse is that's why you don't bring girlfriends on tour. And you made the joke, no women weaken the legs, but that's real stuff, that people think, and you get all kind of scrutiny. You get all kind of scrutiny. Now there, I would say it's a distraction, but what's the difference between a girlfriend and a wife or a fiance? It's still going to be the same.
What's the difference with a girlfriend and going out with the boys every night, drinking it up, living it up, going to dances? Stop it.
It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. But they get that kind of flack. And I think the most interesting thing he said was not about just him, but that Anushka also took some hate where people were sliding into her DMs and like,
you're killing him. You're ruining India.
Yeah, you're ruining Indian cricket. Like, could you imagine how she would feel? And, one thing is to attack the celebrity per se. Another thing is to attack the celebrity's family or the celebrity's significant other. And I just never understood that. You know what I mean? I just don't. But it happens. It happens all the time. And you're like, seriously? Come on, man.
Dude, it's all about finding the scapegoat. But you're right. That is so cool that he was able to build that bond with her. And of course, she is, she's a titan in her own right. She's a movie producer. She's an actress. Like, she's been around the world, what's like the famous life, block, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're able to bounce off. And you can still tell in that interview that he's still like gaga eyes for her, right? He's still in love with her, which I think is awesome. They've been together for a while. I think this is before he had his kid or whatever. So that took it to the next level, I'm sure. But I also love like the story about the wardrobe malfunction. I knew I was going to be interested in that one because, I mean, what are you going to do? That's like an embarrassing moment. He's got like the tights, like men in tights. Like, he's got the tights on. He's doing it. And he's like, I was so excited. I was pumped up. I would be pumped up too. I got lasers and stuff coming out. And then you have that wardrobe malfunction. And it's just, you got to do it. And I love that because you see these people who are real people, but we elevate them sometimes. Right. They have bad days too. And this guy's doing this. I mean, imagine that. Like, you're in that life where like you got this photo shoot or this commercial you're producing or whatever. And you're like, you're going to get me in a superhero costume? Okay, I got to roll with it. And then you have that happen. It's like, whatever. It is what it is.
I think my favorite part, though, was his anecdotes about Sachin. And the fact that he was starstruck. And the fact that, did he say it was Harbhajan Singh? I think he said it was Harbhajan Singh and those guys.
He was one of them.
Messed with him and said, yeah, when you go up to him, you got to touch his feet. Out of respect, you got to touch his feet. And he's so, even though he's been fast tracked, even though he's the wonder boy, he's the heir apparent, he's so, gaga that he's like, oh yeah, I'll touch his feet. I'll touch his feet. And it's just funny, because hazing goes on in sports. And if you've never been on a sports team, then you don't understand it. All right. Hazing happens all the time, whether it's in high school, whether it's in college, pro sports. And the rookies, they get picked on. It is what it is. And you got to have some thick skin. And I just think that it's funny, though, that, this Kohli that we know that's fierce and we've seen he was starstruck to the point where he would think about that. I would have been like, touch his feet. That don't make no sense, bro. But he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. He said, touch his feet. I'll touch his feet.
Well, you got to remember that's a custom, right? That's a custom, respecting your elders. I don't know. I'm not going to try to explain the entire thing, but we've seen in many of the Indian films, right? Where they respect by touch. Again, let us know in the comment section exactly the reason for that. But I know that's a custom. So
we even saw in the test that when Lobashang made the team, they made him carry like all the bags or whatever for the Australian test team, and he was like enamored. Yeah,
well, even Smith said, he's like, "You're gonna take care of my stuff. I'll get you a bat at the end of the year," and he was just like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I'll do it.
Loose bus change, like he's a big name nowadays. So I mean, that's
right.
You mentioned about the Sachin thing. Oh, that whole situation that totally reminded me of your boy Rhodey clowning on Bruce Banner, right, when they meet T'Challa, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta bow, right?
He's royalty.
We don't do that here."
We don't do that, right?
Dude, what are you doing, man? Why are you doing that?
I think, and the final thought is for me is how humble he is. He said something that I'm so glad he mentioned, because he said it's not fair for us to compare ourselves to Sachin, right? He carried a team, you know what I mean? He carried a nation, and no matter what anybody does after him, he's Sachin. He's the great. And I think that a lot of these new athletes, listen, LeBron James is an absolutely unbelievable. But it drives me crazy when people say, "Oh yeah, he's better than Jordan." First of all, you don't know that. Second of all, you don't understand what Jordan meant to the game of basketball if you never saw him play. I mean, that's how impactful he was. Or any other sport, you know what I mean? You could pick a sport. Guys will disrespect some of these old school guys, some of these legends, and some of them, even the newer athletes, will disrespect those legends. And you got to understand, they paved the way first and foremost for you to be there. And it's different eras. You can't compare. It's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? So I was so glad to see that he's one of those athletes that still respects the legends that came before him, and thus respects the game. It drives me, Nick, it absolutely drives me crazy when guys would be like, "Oh, Roger Clemens only threw 98, 99. We got guys throwing 104 today. I would have took him yard." Really? Go watch video of Roger Clemens pummeling. I forgot who it was, some young dude or whatever he threw at. And the big dude, 41-year-old Roger Clemens, bald head and all, was giving it to him.
You're thinking of the Nolan Express. That was Nolan Ryan.
No, that's Nolan Ryan. I was thinking about Roger Clemens. That was Nolan Ryan. So you know what I mean, bro? Like, these guys were great. Give them their due. And again, it would be Kohli to be humble and say, yeah, I would never compare myself to Sachin. None of us can ever compare ourselves to Sachin. You know what I mean? Because you hear too many of the newer generation trying to, like, I don't know. Maybe you don't see what I mean. I don't know. Maybe that you have
to continue opinion with your voice and your point with LeBron. I feel very strongly that if you were like to sit down and talk to LeBron, no cameras, no whatever, no anything, just off the record, and you were to say, "Hey, do you think you're better than LeBron or than Jordan?" I'm very confident he would say, "Why would you ask me that? I'm not going to." He's like, "No one's better than Jordan. Jordan was the man." And maybe he would say, I'm pretty good, but I'm not Jordan. And case in point, when he was in Miami, he ditched to 23 out of respect for Jordan, went to the 6 for some time until I think someone convinced him, like, it's okay, you're not disrespecting him by wearing 23. So I think that's a great comparison, because I see LeBron saying the same thing about Jordan. Jordan, besides what happened at the end of his career with the Wizards, that's like the only stain on his resume, right? This guy can turn it on literally, and especially if he felt someone in the world was doubting him. Oh, that was a very bad thing. Kind of like Pete Rose, who had no talent whatsoever, and he went on to have a great career. Jordan had himself some talent, but even going back to his high school days, famous stories, right? He always was trying to elevate his game. He gets the NBA, MVP, all that kind of stuff, but you can't win the playoffs. Gets the playoffs, but you can't win the finals. Wins the finals 6 years. I mean, it's just, you can't make this kind of stuff up. But even with Jordan, I mean, and I'm getting way off track, even he knew he needed to have a team around him, and Kohli knows he has to have a team around him. I absolutely love these conversations. I think the host did a fabulous job. He was very natural. Obviously, they know each other a little bit. He was asking some really good questions. He had done his research. He had done this or that. And he was bringing up stuff that even Kohli was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." Or, "Why did you bring that up?" So I thought it was very natural. I thought it was very cool. We appreciate everyone requesting this. We're thinking about maybe doing an AB next time, Breakfast with Champions or something else. Let us know what we should do next as far as the next Breakfast with Champions reaction we should be checking out in the near future. Thank you so much for checking this out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
We know all things.